2-year-old trotting fillies on the track for this afternoon's fifth race, third division of the International Money International Stallion Stake, worth over $75,000. Sponsored by the International Money Syndicate and the Hanover Shoe Farms. One is Material Girl. Nancy Tactor trains. Yannick Gingras on the bike. For John Fielding, Clay Horn, and Herb Liverman. Number 2, Gotta Believe. Julie Miller trains. Andy Miller aboard for the Andy Miller stable. Thompson Sisters Racing Stable and the Let It Ride stables. 3, Attica Hanover. Noel Daly trains and he co-owns with the LA Express stable. Caviar Farms, Todd McCarthy. 4 is Sweeping Rainbow. Joe Holloway trains. Andy McCarthy in the bike for the Valdior Farms and Ted Gilberts. 5 is Avadir. Ron Burke trains the Burke Racing Stable. Knox Services. Jerry and Teresa Silva, Perdell Libby, Weaver Brushimi, Dave Miller. Number 6, Adirondack. Perry Ingblom trains. Dexter Dunn in the bike for Diamond Creek Racing. And 7 is Splash Blue Chip. Oka Svanstedt, the trader, driver, and the co-owner with the Melby Guard Incorporated. That's the field for the fifth race. No changes, race 5.
Stakes action continues on this Saturday afternoon here at the Red Mile in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. The rain letting up a little bit, Gabe Pruitt. Just wanted to let you know that as we concluded that interview with Adam Bowden, we thank him for going on with us. This event, this division of the International Stallion Stakes for the freshman trotting fillies is the International Money, and we will be speaking with Frank Antonacci Jr. to represent his renowned family in the winner's circle afterwards. Good field of fillies here. We've got 7 of them going postward for a purse of over $75,000. Now, you say Attica Hanover. Is that the correct way to pronounce it, or are we guessing?
Well, that is the way I pronounced it, Attica Hanover.
I guess we'll find out afterwards if that is correct, because I think I was calling her Anoka Hanover, but I like the way you say it rolling off your tongue. Awesome last week in her division of the Bluegrass. She made up a ton of ground, as we explained on the pregame show today. She's just a super filly.
Yeah, she really is. She kicked home so nicely. And, Dave, it's important to note, no front-end wetters through the first 4 races here today. So is that going to come into play as part of the track condition? At times when we do get weather here in Lexington, it seems like the speed maybe not so good. So maybe just the wrong horses a bit on the lead. But, again, no front-end wetters here through the first 4 races. So I think when you take that into consideration as well, you really have to give a horse that likes to come from off of it, like Attica Hanover, a huge chance here. That makes even her a more logical horse to go to. But 7-5 run at the morning line price right now. She looks very good on the monitors right there, scoring down to the track for driver Todd McCarthy.
I like the way she looks as well. She's a daughter of Donato Hanover out of the Yankee Glide mare Aunt Mel. She's co-owned by her trainer Noel Daly with the LA Express stable. And the Caviar Farms are good friends, the Chaffees, as well. We'll have to see how Todd McCarthy decides to race her. Remember, he inherited this drive, basically, when Andy went up to Canada to race in all those big stakes right there. And you can't take a guy off after he wins a couple, right?
No way you could do that. I agree. That's a bad move.
Number 1 is Material Girl. I think you gave her a little bit of love. She returns from an even effort in that division of the Kentuckiana up at Hoosier Park here. But that break prior here at the Red Mile kind of worries me.
She was shuffled out, so I wouldn't the break, yes, that could worry me, but the start at Hoosier would not, because she was shuffled badly there. She had trot at the end of that mile there last time in the stake at Hoosier Park. So I think this inside post, maybe she's a little more aggressive here in the earlier stages today. We do get a potted switch. Yannick Gingras up here for the first time for trader Nancy Tactor as this filly moves over there to the Tactor barn as well. Material Girl, I thought could be a live long shot here again with the little trouble there last out. Again, I thought if she was handled a bit more aggressively, perhaps she could respond in 7-1. A good price today as well.
Team Orange Crush, Andy and Julie Miller have number 2, Gotta Believe in here, another daughter of Donato Hanover. And they paid a lot of money for this filly, $100,000 right here at the Lexington Selected sale last year. But I'll tell you what, she's off to a very good start. She's got 3 starts and 2 upset wins, including one here last week.
One here last week and a major upset in her debut there at Pocono. She made an incredible move there after getting away last day 39-1. As you know, Pocono, very hard track to make up ground when you get away that far back. So she's raced 3 times. Both times she has trotted. Well, they've both been wins, and she's not getting a ton of respect up there today as well. Back up there at 5-1, even after a couple of upset victories.
Lots of early betting action for number 7, Splash Blue Chip. Another outside post start here for the team Svanstead filly by E.L. Titan. Now, he took her up off the gate last week in the division of the Bluegrass, Gabe. You and I both know that's not going to happen today.
Yeah, we could see a more aggressive steer. She was very aggressive in the New York Sire Stakes final there at Yonkers. She was okay last week. I thought she trotted home quite nicely there. Had a 4th-place effort. Did not see 7-2 type action coming. It is a bit of a wide-open group, but Splash Blue Chip taking a ton of tote action right now as a second choice. She's very versatile. She can do it from on or off the pace. Again, I'm not so sure that I want to be on the front here. We'll see how it plays out, though, through the back half of the card.
Right. Couple more tidbits about the favorite, Annika Hanover, in here. Trainer Noel Daly credits Marty Alasapala with a good eye for a horse, having picked this one out. Again, not a big ticket purchase, just $35,000. No Breeders' Crown for Annika Hanover after this, as she's not eligible. Noel says she's a little aggressive, but she has a good head. We'll see if it works out for her today.
As we get set here for post time for this afternoon's 5th race, want to send a special happy birthday shout out to Derek Minchoffer. And we do invite everyone here, if you're in the area, come out and join us. Great racing here left today at a huge card tomorrow, including our signature Kentucky Futurity, 12-horse shootout there. Also 12 at the Philly Futurity as well. Great day of racing. Come out and join us, rain or shine, here for closing day tomorrow afternoon. That Dream Foundation starting gate has moved into position. Post time for the 5th race. Starter called. Post time for the 3rd division of the International Money. International Stallion Stake. International Money stands his 3rd season next year at the Hanover Shoe Farms of Pennsylvania. Son of Love You from the great mare Moneymaker, earned over $5.5 million in her career. Race 5 sponsored by the International Money Syndicate and the Hanover Shoe Farm. Field of 7 two-year-old trotting fillies lined up. They are on game. And they are off and trotting. Avideer left the gate from the center of the track. Far outside Splash. Blue Chip also out swinging, and Gotta Believe is on the move as they trot into that opening turn. Gotta Believe sliding on through down to the inside as Avideer's better break in stride. So Avideer jumped it off there. Splash Blue Chip avoiding the trouble. And she continues up on the outside for Svanstead. Adirondacks out trotting 3rd. Material Girl, she's anxious in the 4th spot. Jingra already says go. And it's Material Girl who is up and on the move through a quarter here. Very reasonable, just 29 and 2. Attica Hanover trots in the fifth spot. She slides to the outside. So lots of early action here. It's a busy opening 3/8. Material Girl is up to a reach to the top past Splash Blue Chip. She'll face immediate pressure from Gotta Believe, who's already up and on the attack. So they continue to shuffle the deck here. Gotta Believe sprints on past Material Girls. They trot up to the half-mile mark. Attica Hanover is up at the outside, uncovered now for McCarthy as she moves with a backside blitz here. They're past a half and 57 and 1. Attica Hanover, the favorite up at the outside there with Gotta Believe. Dead at the inside. Material Girl pinned out at the pylons right now. Third is Adirondack. Advances up. She was left uncovered to the outside for Dunn. Sweeping Rainbow tracks that move up fifth past the early leader Splash Blue Chip. And it's far back to Avenir after the miscue. Attica Hanover is taken over the top. And she kicks off 3/4 in 1:25. Gotta Believe. Could not stay with the favorite second. Adirondack still inching in down the center third. Sweeping Rainbows up at the outside fourth. It's Attica Hanover maintaining a 4-length margin from Gotta Believe. Far outside Splash Blue Chip begins to surge up late. Deep stretch now. Attica Hanover still there. Splash Blue Chip is rounding up at the far outside. Gotta Believe back down at the inside third, but it's Attica Hanover. Attica Hanover 3 in a row. Splash Blue Chip rounded to be second. Gotta Believe third. It was tied for fourth. Either Sweeping Rainbow or Material Girl at 153 and 2. Judges have posted the 3 Attica Hanover unofficially first, second of the 7 Splash Blue Chip, third of the 2 Gotta Believe, and the 4 Sweeping Rainbow in the fourth place photo, 3-7-2-4 in race 5. Turning track side for the Diamond Creek Farm Winners presentation. This is Attica Hanover. Noel Daly, the trader, and he co-owns of Chesterfield, New Jersey, along with the LA Express stable of Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, and the Caviar Farms, Vienna, Virginia. Todd McCarthy in the bank once more, 3 in a row. For Attica Hanover, 2-year-old bay filly by Donato Hanover from the Yankee Glidemare Aunt Mel. She was bred by the Hanover Shoe Farms, Pennsylvania, home of the namesake. It's the International Muddy International Stallion Stake. And greeting the Wedding Connections trackside to make the trophy presentation. Frank Antonacci Jr. is there. Dave Brower will catch up with Frank there shortly to discuss International Muddy. Attica Hanover wins for the 6th time and just her 10th lifetime start. A career best this afternoon, 153 and 2. Attica Hanover takes race 5. Fifth race results are official. And the price is now up favored. Annika Hanover 360, 240, 210. Second of the 7, Splash Blue Chip 380, 260. Third of the 2, Gotta Believe 280. Exact $11, $1 trifecta, $14.60. 20-cent superfecta, $13.16. At the early pick 3 was $212.80. Official rundowns for the 5th race. Material Girl 5th. Number 2, Gotta Believe 3rd. 3 at Annika Hanover, the race winner. 4, Sweeping Rainbow 4th. 5, Avenir 7th. Number 6, Adirondack 6th. The 7, Splash Blue Chip 2nd. Rechecking, it's 5-3-1. 4, 7, 6, 2 on the bottom. Annika Hanover 153 and 2. 4 divisions this afternoon of the International Money, International Stallion Stake. And Dave Brower standing by with the gentleman that knows all about International Money and that entire family. In fact, he's trackside with Frank Antonacci in the winner's circle.
Thank you, Gabe Pruitt. We are in the Diamond Creek Farm Winner's Circle, about to learn a little bit more about the next hopeful great trotting sire. We've got Frank Antonacci Jr. here, and of course the Antonacci name and the Lindy Farms are synonymous with some of the great history of our sport. First of all, Frank, thanks for taking a little time. The rain has subsided a little bit, so we wanted to get your face on camera here. Tell us more about the syndicate behind International Money. He's got foals on the ground.
Yeah, his foals look great. I don't think we could be more excited about a potential stallion than International Money, and then hopefully Ready for Money coming right after him. You know, we made a commitment. My dad led the way to bring the French breed into the American game, and the results have been nothing but astounding. You see yesterday with, well, the Mohawk Million with Venerate, Love You. You see Quattro de Julio yesterday out of a Ready Cashmere. The results on the sample size is just incredible.
So it's safe to say we could look forward to a really good year next year, selling and potentially racing.
Well, I think, you know, people were a little skeptical when we started this, but I mean, the results on the racetrack are just, I've never seen statistically, I think there was 5 Ready Cashes in the crop that Ready for Money raced in, and 2 of them are Ready for Money in back of the neck. It's amazing.
You and your family, you're not just breeders and sellers, but you're also buyers, so you picked up a few this week.
Yeah, you know, we bought 2 nice trotting fillies that we think could go good with either of those studs, and also some pacing fillies and the trotting colt. So I think we're in good shape.
Now, overall, this is a pretty special place for you and your family. You got to look forward to this 2 weeks every year.
It's an amazing place. I think anybody who comes down here really gets the bug.
Now, you've got some big racing action coming up tomorrow on the biggest day of the Grand Circuit meet. You've got one in the Futurity, one in the Filly Futurity. Ready for Money. Now, do you like that second-tier post back there in post 11?
Listen, you got to deal with what you got.
Okay. Any concerns about the weather, particularly with him?
Well, I'm not the trainer anymore,
okay.
So let them worry about that.
Well, Yannick Gingras certainly knows his way around there. He'll take care of that. Then you got a long shot, though. I think she's got a decent shot to get some money. Sweet Shirley May in the Filly Futurity.
Yeah, nice filly. We were always high on her. She's been good the last month or so, and you know, she had a little clunker up there in Hoosier, but I think she was good last week. And you know, if they mix it up and she's in the right spot, she'll get a piece.
All right, and the Antonacci family not only is restricted to harness racing, your brother just took a new job. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Philip and Jimmy Tactor are kind of working together on a thoroughbred program where we've bought, I think, 6 yearlings so far, and putting together some race horses, and going to give it a shot that way. We like fast horses.
And he'll get to spend his winter down in South Florida, so I'm already envious.
Yeah, not a bad excuse to go down there.
All right, Frank Antonacci Jr., ladies and gentlemen, the International Money Syndicate. We wish you lots of luck going forward, and we look forward to seeing his foals sell next year.
Thanks, Dave.
Who is up and on the move to a quarter here. Very reasonable, just 29 and 2. Annika Hanover trots in the 5th spot. She slides to the outside, so lots of early action here. It's a busy opening 3/8. Material Girl is up to a reach to the top past Splash Blue Chip. She'll face immediate pressure from Gotta Believe, who's already up and on the attack, so they continue to shuffle the deck here. Gotta Believe sprints on past Material Girl as they trot up to the half-mile mark. Annika Hanover is up at the outside, uncovered now for McCarthy as she moves with a backside blitz here. They're past a half and 57 and 1. Annika Hanover, the favorite up at the outside there with Gotta Believe. Dead at the inside. Material Girl pinned down at the pylons right now. Third is Adirondack. Advances up. She was left uncovered to the outside for Dunn. Sweeping Rainbow Tracks that move up 5th, past the early leader Splash Blue Chip, and it's far back to Avenir after the miscue. Attica ahead of her is taken over the top, and she kicks off 3/4 in 1:25. Gotta Believe could not stay with the favorite second. Adirondack still inching in down the center third. Sweeping Rainbows up at the outside 4th. It's Attica ahead of her, maintaining a 4-length margin from Gotta Believe. Far outside, Splash Blue Chip begins to surge up late. Deep stretch now. Attica ahead of her still there. Splash Blue Chip is rounding up at the far outside. Gotta Believe back down at the inside third, but it's Attica ahead of her. Attica ahead of her 3 in a row.
ArtSpeak, the next generation of Western Ideal in Ontario. 2-year-old called Pacer of the Year in Canada and the United States. He's a multiple stakes winner, including the Governor's Cup, the Metro Pace, the Bluegrass Stakes, and the New Jersey Sire Stakes finals twice. He's a proven sire of PA Stakes winners from 2 crops of racing age. ArtSpeak's first Ontario crop sells in 2020. Look at the full yearling sales for ArtSpeak Offspring. For more information, winbackfarm.com.
In a field lies hope, anticipation. From the biggest races to the brightest stages, taking you on the wildest ride.
Forbidden Trade with a gigantic upset. Best in show.
For the glory, the pride, the payoff. Enter the field, the Ontario Sire Stakes program, from Ontario farms to the world stage.
Two-year-old Colton Gelding Pacers on the track. It's the Betting Line International Stallion Stakes, sponsored by the Betting Line Syndicate and the Hanover Shoe Farm. Purse just shy of $100,000. No changes. One is Beach Party. Brett Pelling trains. Got 0 out of the bike for Dave McDuffie, John Fielding, and Clay Horter. Number 2 is Blaze Hanover. Ron Berg trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Bridget Jablonski, Jason Melillo, Jerry and Teresa Silva, Pernell Libby, Joe Bongiorno drives. 3 is Holland Beach's Best. Nancy Tactor trains for the Holland Thoroughbred Farm with Tim Tetrick. 4 is Pirate Hanover. Tony Alanya trains. Andy McCarthy up for Brad Grant and Steve Heimbecker. Number 5 is Almanac. He will be last to post parade. Next to the post parade is number 6, Straight Talk. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. William Switala, James Martin and Weaver Bruce Shibby, Matt Kakali. 7 is Folsom. Ron Burke trains for Bill Donovan, Thomas Dillon, Perdell and Libby, Joe Spronko, Yadik Jingra. At the 8, Winter is Cubbing. Tony Alanya trains. Dexter Dunn drives. The Brittany Farms, Alanya Racing, Aaron Waxman, and Myron and Stephanie Bell's Riverview Racing, along with Stephen Head. Dexter Dunn drives the 8. Winter is Cubbing. And last of the post parade is number 5, Almanac. Brian Brown trains for Diamond Creek Racing. Todd McCarthy will drive. That's your field for the 6th race. No changes. It's the Betting Line International Stallion Stake.
We switch over to the freshman pacing Colts and Geldings in this division of the ISS. It is the betting line. The betting line syndicate sponsors along with Hanover Shoe Farm. And, of course, we thank Hanover and are anxious to see all of the great Colts and fillies that they will have selling in the Harrisburg at Timonium sale. Again, November 2nd through 7th, Hanover Shoe Farms. Harrisburg at Timonium. Now, Gabe Pruitt, I've got to apologize to you because I thought I would be able to get the answer on how to pronounce Annika Hanover's name, and I've got conflicting information. The co-owners, the Chaffees, Buck and Judy, Buck calls her Anoka Hanover, and I think Judy calls him Annika Hanover or vice versa. So they haven't even figured that out in their household. So I'm going with you, Annika Hanover, from here on out.
Maybe that doesn't make me feel so bad. I believe it's a town in Minnesota because when I originally looked up, that's about the only thing that I could find the filly named after. So we'll see. I guess as long as there's conflict, you couldn't go wrong.
You know me, I hate when I can't get the information, but we'll figure that out somewhere down the road. I'll just call Noel Daly and find out. In this sixth race here, one race before we get to that guaranteed pick four pool with the pacing Colts and Geldings, I like a Son of Some Beach somewhere in here, and so do you. Highland Beach's Best. We just saw him on the screen a moment ago for the Bionic Man, Tim Tetrick. You and I were both impressed with his division of the Bluegrass last week when he chased Southwind Gendry.
The very nice effort, spread it home very nicely there behind a big favorite. And yeah, I thought maybe this division not quite as deep, Dave, as the other two Betting Line International Stallion Stakes we'll see today. So I thought Highland Beach's Best drew nicely here. After a very good debut in Lexington. That was a debut for the new barn as well. First start for trainer Nancy Takters. So, yes, I think Highland Beach's Best just well spotted here. I think it's a matter of who he's drawn it against. We know he's got talent. And, again, I think if he's as good here today as he was last week, he is clearly the one to beat. But even money right now, he is the favorite on the board.
All right, we've got dueling McCarthys in this division of the International Stallion Stakes. Older brother Andrew will be behind the 4 Pirate Hanover. Younger brother Todd, who we just saw in the winner's circle with Annika Hanover, he'll drive the 5 Almanac. You and I differing in who we like in that second spot. I'm going to go with the one from the Alanya Armada, Pirate Hanover. I think he'll get a better trip today.
Yeah, I like Pirate Hanover in the runner-up spot as well. In fact, he was a pretty good even here in that good field there last out. I thought that was a nice step back in the right direction for a colt that has had some difficulties beginning his career. He made a couple of breaks there in bad spots in Canada. So I think Pirate Hanover looked to be back on track there. Maybe we'll get a little more aggressive steer here today, Dave, with that start under his belt as well. But that's who I like. I didn't think he'd play maybe as a second choice, but he currently is right now at only 3-1.
I'm a little surprised by the wagering here, too. Almanac being the bigger of the second choices in here. Brian Brown, you saw that race. You were at Hoosier Park on that night of the elevation here. He chased Southwind Gendry but couldn't keep up.
Yeah, and it was about exactly what it looks like on paper. He had a nice trip there. He was in pretty stout. That was a good group. But just what you see is what you get. He was 4th there, beating a few lengths. Couldn't hang him with the top trio there late. But he's been solid here. Son of a rock and roll dance, well-bred there. Homebred for Diamond Creek Racing. He was good in the Commonwealth Series here locally. So he does like this track in Lexington. So maybe he bounces back and rebounds a bit here. But pretty stiff group he tackles here today as well in top shelf stakes action.
It certainly wouldn't be a freshman colt pace without a big entrant from the Burke Brigade. They've got 3 in here, albeit 3 long shots. This was a special day for them last year when Elver Hanover captured one of the ISS divisions. Major Betts, Tall Dark Stranger, and Captain Midnight took the others. What about number 7, Folsom? He's been chasing the likes of Luz Pearlman, his stablemate, and Perfect Sting.
Yeah, that he got caught up in that torrid pace scenario there and shuffled there out of it last time. Things just did not work out for him at that last start. But I think he's showed that he can go with some top-level stakes company. He's a son of Betting Line here today, the namesake of the 6th race. Both of the colts on the outside are sons of Betting Line. But Folsom, you've got an aggressive pilot with Gene on the bike here. Could leave out, get some position, and he's up there at a good price, 17-1.
Should still be a great race. Current favorite right now, number 3, Highland Beach's Best. Both Gabe and I are on board. We will see if Tim Tetrick, the Bionic Man, can get him home. And after the race, we're going to talk to top owner Robert LeBlanc on what a dream season it's been with Ramona Hill and Exploit.
The Dream Foundation starting 80 as we begin into position. It's post time for this afternoon's 6th race. We do remind you we are about 20 minutes away from race 7. That will begin the $1 pick 4, 15% takeout on the pick 4, $10,000 a guaranteed pool. wants to get a $10,000 guarantee in today's pick 4. That's on deck with race 7. Starter call. Post time, the first of 3 divisions of the betting line. International Stallion Stake. Betting line currently selling his second crop. Sold in Lexington all week. Of course, the upcoming standardbred horse sale at Timonium as well. He's a son of Bettor's Delight. The all-time leading stallion in North America. Betting line earned over $1.8 million. First crop already making a big impact. We'll see one of his top stars, a Buck-a-Bet Hanover in action a bit later this afternoon. Betting line, of course, stands at the Hanover Shoe Farms of Pennsylvania. Fans, don't forget 12 races here tomorrow afternoon. Closing day at the Red Mile, including the signature event here each and every fall, the Kentucky Futurity. 12 horses tomorrow as part of the Kentucky Futurity. Purse well over $440,000. Join us right back here for closing day tomorrow afternoon. First post 1 p.m. 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pacers lined up at the first division of the betting line. International Stallion Stake. Purse over $99,000. Field of 8, they are on gain. And they are off. Highland Beach is best. The favorite out alertly there between horses Ford Tetrick. Beach Party moves out quickly down at the inside. Pirate Hanover is also sweeping up as they move into that Tattersall's turn. Pirate Hanover takes over from Highland Beach is best. Beach Party out tracking in third. Emblaze Hanover is next in fourth. It's a gap of 2 lengths to Almanac, who's giving chase in the early stages. Fifth, Straight Talk out sixth as they battle around the opening turn. Highland Beach is best, not content with the pocket. The quarter was 28-1. Tetrick wants to see a favorite on top, and at 3-5, it's Highland Beach is best, who takes over from Pirate Hanover. Beach Party tightens back at the 2 favorites at third. Emblaze Hanover is fourth as the pace slows here across the backstretch. The field tightens up. Almanac tracks in fifth in front of Straight Talk. Folsom is next. Winter is Coming is at the back of the pack. Currently 10 lengths off the top. He'll take to the outside for Dunn as they're in pursuit of the favorite. Highland Beach is best, who rolls past the half here in 56-1, 28 seconds in the second quarter. It's a well-rated Highland Beach is best, who maintains a lead onto the far turn. Pirate Hanover sitting just off the leader there in second with 3/8 to pace. Beach Party is down at the inside third with Almanac inching it uncovered. He's worked up into a fourth. Straight Talks up on the outside, second over fifth past Emblaze Hanover. Winter is Coming up third over in the flow past Folsom, who's down at the inside. They roll past 3/4 in 1:24. Highland Beach is best with the tactical advantage turning for home. Pirate Hanover continues to give chase in the second spot. Almanac is driven out to third down the center. Mid-stretch, Highland Beach is best maintains the lead from Pirate Hanover. It's Highland Beach is best here. The favorite 2.5 clear of Pirate Hanover. Emblaze Hanover snuck through late down at the inside third, but it's Highland Beach is best to win. Pirate Hanover second, Emblaze Hanover third, Beach Party fourth, 150-2. 3, 4, 2, 1 on official race 6. Returning trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm Winners presentation. This is Highland Beach's Best. Much the best here, the first division of the Betting Line International Stallion Stake. Dancy Tacker, the trainer. Tim Tetrick aboard for the winning effort for the Highland Thoroughbred Farm of Inglewood, Ontario, Canada. Highland Beach's Best, a 2-year-old bay colt by Some Beach Somewhere from the Rock and Roll Hanover mare Rocket Highland. Homebred for the Highland Thoroughbred Farm. His third career victory, career best clocking today, 150-2 for Highland Beach's Best. Presenting the trophy to the Winning Connections. One of the sports leading owners, Robert LeBlanc there, trackside. He'll catch up shortly with Dave Brower. And we do also appreciate the sponsorship of the Fair Island Farm for the trophies of the caretakers of all the winners during the Grand Circuit Stakes. So, Caretakers Award sponsored by Art Zubron and Leah Chevry's Fair Island Farm. We appreciate their sponsorship here of the Caretakers Awards. 3, 4, 2, 1 is now official. Prices up for the 6th race. Highland Beach's Best, 340, 220, and 210. Second of the 4 Pirate Hanover, 340, 280. Third of the 2 Emblaze Hanover, 580. The Exacta combination of 3, 4, the 2 favorites, $9.60. $1 trifecta, $36.20. 20-cent superfecta was $47.86, and the pick 5. Back-to-back favorites to close down, 50-cent ticket, $394.95. Official run that in for the 6th race. Beach Party 4th. Number 2 Emblaze Hanover 3rd. 3 Highland Beach's Best, the winner. 4 Pirate Hanover 2nd. 5 Albanac was 7th. Number 6 Straight Talk 5th. 7 Folsom 8th. 8 Winter is coming 6th. Rechecking time down. It's 4-3-1-2-7-5. 8 and 6 on the bottom. Highland Beach's Best. 150-2. 7th race up next. Reminder, it kicks off your $10,000 guaranteed pick 4. Low takeout there, just 15%. There are no changes on the balance of today's program. Standing by trackside again. Once more, Dave Brower standing by with one of the sport's leading owners, Robert LeBlanc, who's been on a great ride this season.
Boy, he sure has, Gabe. Welcome, everybody, to the Diamond Creek Farm Winter Circle, and it's a place that owner Robert LeBlanc has been standing a lot in over the summer stakes season. First of all, Robert, I know you're having a great time here in Lexington this week, but the truth is you just got back into the business not too long ago?
Yeah, I've been with Tony for about 4 years, and when I retired, I decided to come into it a little bit more and got some good horses, some good partners, and we're having a dream season, that's for sure.
How do you learn about harness racing in Austin, Texas?
Well, I'm originally from Canada, and my grandfather actually owned racehorses, and my dad's owned racehorses. So I think the first time I went to the races, I was probably 2 years old. So I've been around the horses for a long time. But as an owner, and I've been learning a lot, and I learned a lot from Tony and my partners, and we've been on a good run.
Is it safe to say over the past couple of seasons you have simply struck gold? Are you the lucky charm?
I keep telling John Federa and Steve Weinick, yes, that's the answer, but. You know what? You have to have a good set of owners. You have to have a good set of trainers and grooms. And more importantly, you just have to have the right horses. And I was lucky enough to be part of Ramona and then the Jug with Captain Barbosa. And then Exploit wins the Metro. And he's coming up here in a couple of races.
What kind of a ride was it there through the early part of August with Ramona Hill? Thankfully, you and your partners got to come to the Meadowlands to watch her beat the boys.
Yeah, I actually have a place in New York. And I came up and I did my 2 weeks quarantine in my apartment. And in fact, the second day out was when she won the Miller. And we said, you know what, maybe we'll take on the boys. And then her elimination, the way she came that last quarter was just unbelievable. And then winning the Hambletonian, you know, as an owner or even a trainer or driver, that is just the ultimate. It was fantastic.
We talked to Tony in the winner's circle the other day. He was the ultimate one to make the choice to race her against the fillies tomorrow. Did you guys have any input there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was out there. You know, she scoped sick after her race last Sunday. So I was out there earlier, and I was out there on Thursday. We watched her train. She trained very, very well. But, you know, she's beaten the boy. She's proven herself. And, you know, we've got the Breeders' Crown coming up here in a couple of weeks. So we want to make sure we have a horse for that.
Now, she's not the only stakes winner you've had recently. You talked about the few others. How big of a surprise was Exploit in that Metro? He was 35 to 1.
Yeah, you know what? I think the bettors were more surprised than me. You know, he's had, we brought him along very slowly. We always knew he had a lot of talent. He had a couple of races where he got caught behind horses, and then in his elimination, he was a little bit behind Pirate Hanover when Pirate went down. And so Andy had to ease him up, and we got into the final. And I said, hey, when we got a good post, I said, you know what? I think we got a real shot here, and he didn't disappoint.
Are you a little bit nervous about racing him here today?
Yeah, you're always nervous about racing your good ones because you want to prove that, you know, he wasn't just a one-shot, you know, 35 to 1, but that he really has a lot of talent. So, you know, I'm hoping for the best today. We're in tough. There's a lot of good colts in our race.
Now, the focus this week is always on the Lexington Selected Mix Sale. You and your partners, I know you got lots of conversations, and then you consult with Tony. How many did you guys buy?
I ended up being part of 5. I've got some Pacers, I've got some Trotters. You know, I'm hoping I've got the next Ramona, and I'm hoping I've got the next Exploit, and the Trotters. I'm hoping I got the next Ramona. So, you know, we're pretty excited. I thought it was a good sale. A lot of good quality horses that went for reasonable prices.
Okay, last question. You know me. You know it's all about food. You're from Austin, Texas, the home of barbecue. Have you tried any Lexington barbecue?
I have not tried Lexington barbecue. I have a little bit of Austin barbecue, but I'm not a big barbecue fan, to be honest with you.
All right.
Give me good Italian food.
2 places that have great barbecue. I have not been to Austin. It's on my bucket list for someday.
You got to come down. I'll have you over.
All right. Robert LeBlanc, ladies and gentlemen, set for a big weekend of racing here at the Red Mile as we conclude the Grand Circuit.
Great. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Marlowe, Hanover, Oticon, Hanover up in
Green Shoe will win the Kentucky Futurity.
It's all Hanover in 149 and 2. You're my candy girl, 148 and 2, a stakes and track record.
Percy Blue Chip for the victory!
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us the readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
Two-year-old trotting filly stepping on the track. It's the 4th and final division of the International Money International Stallion Stakes, sponsored by the International Money Syndicate and the Hanover Shoe Farm. Purse over $76,000. Kicks off the $10,000 guaranteed pick 4. What is Easy Pass? Nifty Norman trains. Mark McDonald drives for Melvin Hartman, Dave McDuffie, and Diamond Creek Racing. Number 2 is Presto. Otis Fonstedt, the trailer driver for Brixton Medical Incorporated. 3, U Auto Dream. Jeff Gregory trains, drives, and he co-owns with Bill Richardson, George Robinoff, Martin Gary. The 4 is Maserati. Lucas Wallen trains. Tim Tetrick aboard for the Mazda Racing Stables. Stormy and Bruiser Stable. Number 5 is Keystone Barracuda. Charlie Norris trains for Kerry Norris, G&B Racing, and Max Hempt, Andy McCarthy. Number 6 is Pub Crawl. Julie Miller trains. Andy Miller drives for the Andy Miller Stable. Lewis Willinger, Campbell Singh, and the legendary Standardbred Farm. 7 is Frankly My Dear. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Knox Services, Jerry and Teresa Silva, Purnell Levy, Weaver Bruchebe, Matt Kikali's at the controls. At the 8 is Iteration. Marcus Melander trains. Brian Sears drives for Courant Incorporated. That is the field for the 7th race. It kicks off the Pick 4. New Ultra Low Reduced Take out of the Pick 4, just 15%. A $10,000 guaranteed Pick 4 pool here this afternoon. You've got a few minutes to get in on the Pick 4. There are no changes on the ballots of today's card.
Thank you again, Gabe Pruitt. The Trotting Fillies are on the track for race number 7, this division of the International Stallion Stakes. Another one sponsored by the International Money Syndicate and Hanover Shoe Farms. A little bit of love for some other big sponsors that keep supporting us here at the Red Mile. The Fair Islands Farm, that's Art Zubrod, Leah Chevry. They're responsible for each and every groom who has a stakes winner. They're getting a trophy. The 37th Breeders' Crown coming up later this month at Harrah's Hoosier Park on October 30th, 31st. We'll all want to be there if possible. Wire to Wire Wealth Management. That's Matt Franklin. He's been with us throughout the 2 weeks. And the Blue Chip Farms, where they are bred in New York to take on the world. Got a new pronunciation for you, Gabe. You ready for this? Number 3, Jeff Gregory's filly should be pronounced You Ought to Dream. And that came right from Jeff's wife, Helen. Helen, thanks so much for sending that note along. You Ought to Dream. I think last week we were calling her You Atto Dream, so we like to get those kinds of things right. Let's start our discussion with her. She was amazing last week, an almost unlucky loser when she was caught in the last jump after doing all the dirty work.
Yeah, she carved up a crisp pace there, 54 and change. Got tagged right at the light there, 53. Flat she trotted. And then the horse that beat her was right off her back, the 2 Presto, but she did so much of the heavy lifting there. Just have to give her all the respect in the world. First or second, 7 of 8 to begin her career. A very talented dream. And run that by me again, Dave. That's You Ought Dream.
You ought, like O-U-G-H-T. You Ought to Dream.
Perfect.
So there you go. Good story this week released on the UStrotting.com site about Jeff Gregory in the background with this filly here. She cost $45,000. That's a medium price right here at the Lexington sale. And this is a group of owners that have had horses with Jeff for years. Bill Richardson, George Romanoff, and Marty Gary. So she's an easy filly to root for. But Jeff did say this about it. He said she's not a push-button horse, so she requires a little bit of extra care and handling. I think she'll be just fine from that inside post. Right now, she is up there as the 2-1 second choice. Lots of money for Presto. That's who beat You Ought to Dream last week with the perfect trip from Otis Fonstedt. But you and I, we missed the party there at 10-1. You going to hop back aboard at a lower price?
No, I think that's just a perfect trip victory, which she's a nice filly. Don't want to discount her, but I think sometimes after those wins, Dave, horses will come back and they'll be over bet. I think that's the case here with Presto. Is the trip going to work out that perfectly again today? Who knows? I just think 8-5 is awfully short. If you missed the party at double digits last week, 10-1, tough to come back here at a short price today.
There's a look at number 4, Maserati, out on the track, nice and relaxed for Tim Tetrick. I've spoken at length about the good season trainer Lucas Wallen has had with his freshman trotting fillies. She didn't show up here for week 1, but she's here now and ready to roll. Also taking money, number 6, Pub Crawl, a bit of an upset winner last week for the team, Team Orange Crush, Andy and Julie Minner. She had a perfect trip, and she was able to sneak through at the pylons. I remember you were a little surprised when you thought she had that much trot.
Yeah, sorry, Dave, took the phone call here. I have to conduct some sort of business, but all is well now. Yes, Pub Crawl slipped up the inside there, 15-1 upsetter. to score that stakes victory last week. That was a nice, patient drive from Andy Miller. It worked out. She wasn't the best of spots here turning for home, but when she did find clearance, and she had just a little clearance down at the inside, she got up there to get it done. I think if you get past the three You Ought to Dream, who I know you and I both blank here, Dave, I thought this thing really opened up. You know, there's not a tremendous amount separating a lot of these fillies here in this 7th race to kick off the Pick 4, in my opinion.
And I want to ask you about one more. Number 8 is Iteration, and we have a very special happy birthday shout-out to Sabine Kagebrand. If you don't know who Sabine is, she is the right-hand woman next to Anders Strom, who operate Courant Incorporated. They had Green Shoe last year. They've had so many great trotters over the years here. Happy birthday, Sabine. Normally, they'd be here with us. Unfortunately, I guess just not this year. Iteration, it's going to be a tough task from that outside post.
Iteration, a full sister to Chimpanzee, so a regally bred daughter of Chapter 7. She cost $250,000 last fall there at Harrisburg. She was an easy win there at Hoosier. David, the big stake, winner of the New York Sire Stakes final after a remarkable recovery. She made a break in stride there and made up all that ground. Last week, just a touch of traffic trouble, baby. She did not get out there until the final 16th or so. Ended up trotting home nicely and evenly there late to be third. We already saw Flawless Count come out of that race, the runner-up to a win earlier on the card. So Iteration, tough post here today, but certainly a horse that I think merits a lot of attention. Dave, you see like the price there right now. She's 8-1. She has not even been 2-1 up and down the page there. So this is a filly that's playing, in my mind, as a pretty good overlay, even though she clicked down to 5-1. That she hasn't been anywhere near that to this point in her career.
Well, good value if she can overcome that post. Hey, a couple more harness racing birthdays to give everybody a little love. Marvin Luna, trainer Jerry Silverman, and Rose Flood up at Harris Hoosier Park. After the Trotters get through this division of the International Money, we will be talking to Steve Jones of the Cameo Hills Farm. That means we're going to talk a little sale, we're going to talk New York, and we're going to talk Huntsville.
Huntsville has been well received this week, so looking forward to that interview with Steve. And his great crew had a good week there at Cameo Hills as well. Dream Foundation starting 8 has moved into position. It's post time for the International Money 7th race. Final boarding call for this afternoon's Pick 4. Starter call. Freshman trotting fillies lined up, 4th and final division of the International Money, International Stallion Stake, purse for $76,000 to kick off the Saturday Pick 4, a field of 8. They are on game. They are off and trotting. Pub Crawl sprints out quickly to inside. Maserati is on the move. Also Presto out looking for early position, and from the far outside, Iteration as they scramble for position onto the opening turn. Pub Crawl looking to dart past Maserati. Presto out third in that spot. Iteration will dive in 4th in front of Easy Pass. Tight pack around that opening turn. You Ought to Dream is out underway from the 6th spot. Keystone Barracuda is next in front of Frankly My Dear. They tried through an opening quarter. Very comfortable, just 29-1. And Presto is out on the attack there, looking to take over the top from Pub Crawl. You Ought to Dream. Rushing up on the outside early for Gregory, so they trot past the 3/8 mark. A new leader, Presto, faces immediate pressure from You Ought to Dream, who looks to reach up and take over the top. Pub Crawl, the early leader's back to 3rd. Maserati giving chase in the 4th spot in front of Iteration. Easy Pass is next. Keystone Barracuda tracks in 7th in front of Frankly My Dear. They trot past a half in 56-4, 27-3. The tempo picked up at that second stanza. And it is You Ought to Dream, slight favorite here at 9-5, who calls the shots out of the far turn. And she's starting to get some separation. She's throttled out to a 3-length lead from Presto, who holds down the 2nd spot. Pub Crawl pinned down to the 3rd spot in front of Maserati, who now swings to the outside 4th in front of Iteration. You Ought to Dream kicks off 3/4, 124-4. Presto tries to rally past off a nice trip once more. Maserati inching in down the center still third. Pub Crawl looks for a way through. She's blocked behind a wall of horses. Far outside Iteration moves up. They move into mid-stretch. You Ought to Dream maintains a short lead from Presto. Iteration rallies up in the far outside. Pub Crawl's in between fillies. Wide open here in the late stages. You Ought to Dream still there. Here's Iteration late. Tight finish. 4 across the track. You Ought to Dream down at the inside. Iteration flying late. Pub Crawl was in between horses. Also Presto there as well. 4 across the track. 153-3. In the photograph, it was 8 Iteration up at the far outside. Wetted in the final stride from number 3, You Ought to Dream. Third of the 6, Pub Crawl. Number 2, Presto. Fourth, 8-3-6-2, and officially the 7th. Wild finish here in the 7th race, but it was Iteration. It was up in time. Score 6-1 mild upsetter here to kick off this afternoon's pick 4. Iteration returns trackside now for the Diamond Creek Farm Wetters presentation. Marcus Melander, the trainer. Brian Sears aboard for the wedding effort this afternoon for Courant Incorporated of Delray Beach, Florida. Iteration, a 2-year-old daughter, Chapter 7 from the Muscle Massive Mare Steamy Windows. Bred by the Order by Stable of Sweden. She's now 5 of 8 to begin her career. And it's a lifetime best ever today, 153-3 for Iteration. Steve Jones of the Cameo Hills Farm is trackside to present the trophy to the wedding connections of Iteration. Steve will catch up shortly with Dave Brower. It's Iteration, who takes the 4th and final division of the International Buddy. International Stallion Stake as your 7th race results are official. Prices up for the 7th race. Iteration springs the mild upset, $15.60, $5.20 and $4. Second of the 3, You Ought to Dream, $3.20 and $2.40. Third of the 6, Pub Crawl, $3.60. Exacta $47.20. The $1 trifecta, $103.40. Official rundowns here for the 7th race is Iteration scores. 1 Easy Pass 6th. Number 2 Presto 4th. 3 You Ought to Dream 2nd. 4 Maserati 5th. Number 5 Keystone Barracuda 8th. 6 Pub Crawl 3rd. Number 7 Frankly My Dear 7th. 8 Iteration the race winner. Rechecking at 6-4-2. 5-8-3. 7-1 on the bottom. Iteration takes the 7th race, 153-3 in a lifetime best effort. Eighth race up next, no changes. It is the second division of the Betting Line International Stallion Stake. Field of 8. They'll go to the post in 9 minutes. Right now, Dave Brower standing by. The man who's enjoyed a great week in Lexington, Steve Jones of the Cameo Hills Farm.
Thank you again, Gabe Pruitt. Always a treat to talk to Mr. Steve Jones of the Cameo Hills Farm here. Steve, it's been an interesting week here. It's been an interesting lead up to the Lexington Selected Sale. You're a big part of that as well. Give me your overall assessment of how you think things went.
Well, the sales were very strong given the uncertainty that we were all worrying about for the past several months. So, yeah, I thought the sales were terrific.
Okay, before we get to your consignment here in Lexington or whatever, you were part of that big Goshen sale. Now, that was like a month or so ago, right? So how did that go?
The Goshen sale was almost identical to the 2019 sale. We had a strong consignment there, and this overall sale was the numbers were exactly the same. So given the uncertainty, we were excited that Goshen went well and Ohio went well, and we're hoping that Lexington would do the same, and it has.
You're a big part of the first crop sires this year with Huntsville. I'll tell you what, everyone that I look like, he really stamps his offspring, doesn't he?
Yeah, Huntsville, he's terrific bred, he's terrific looking, and his foals, anybody that got a chance to see him out here this week, they were terrific looking horses, and so he's got every opportunity to be a sire next year, and we hope that he is.
One of the first guys I ran into when I got down here 2 weeks ago was Ray Schnitker, and he kind of clued me in. He says, wait till you see these Huntsvilles. Now I know what he was talking about.
Yeah, well, Ray's probably somewhat prejudiced to the horse, but justifiably so. And, he was a 2-year-old of the year and a very good 3-year-old, and so he's got his chance. So we're hoping.
Give us a few of the other highlights that came out of the Cameo Hills consignment.
We sold a Huntsville out of Big McDeal for $200. Was a great bred, great-looking filly. We sold a Walner colt out of Check Me Out for $190. There was also her first colt, an outstanding colt. A Huntsville filly out of Divine Caroline that brought $160, and several others. So there's always a few surprises, high and low, and this year was no different.
Are we looking forward to Timonium, Harrisburg at Timonium? Do we have some in there?
I'm looking forward to the weather forecast at Timonium. I am going, and I don't have any to sell in the yearling sale. We have a handful in the mixed sale, so I'm looking forward to it, but I just hope that we're not there with long coats on.
Well, that's always possible, I guess, the first week of November. Now, your son Tyler, is he here with us? And Kathy back at home? Should we send out some love?
Yes, Tyler's here. Frank Antonacci kept him out a little bit late last night, so I think he's doing more sitting than standing this afternoon, but he's doing fine. And, yeah, Jake and Tyler went back home, and they're also doing fine. Actually, Kathy didn't make it this year.
All right. Well, you know what happens in Lexington stays in Lexington, so no tales told. Steve Jones, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, the master of the Cameo Hills Farm. Always nice to talk to him.
Thank you.
Slight favorite here at 9-5. Bukazi shots out of the far turn, and she's starting to get some separation. She's throttled out to a 3-length lead from Presto, who holds down the second spot. Pub Crawl pinned down to the third spot in front of Maserati, who now swings to the outside fourth in front of Iteration. You Ought to Dream kicks off 3/4, 124-4. Presto tries to rally past off a nice trip once more. Maserati inching in down the center still third. Pub Crawl looks for a way through. She's blocked behind a wall of horses. Far outside Iteration moves up. They move into mid-stretch. You Ought to Dream maintains a short lead from Presto. Iteration rallies up in the far outside. Pub Crawls in between fillies. Wide open here in the late stages. You Ought to Dream still there. Here's Iteration late. Tight finish. 4 across the track. You Ought to... Two-year-old pacing colts on the track, second division of the betting line, International Stallion Stake, worth over $99,000. No changes in race 8. The one is Caviar Lotus. Nancy Tactor trains. Tim Dietrich drives for the Caviar Farms. Number 2 is Billy Clyde. Ray Schnitger trains, and he co-owns with Dr. John Egloff, Mark McDonald. 3, a Buck-a-Bet Hanover. Tony Alanya trains for Barbera Stable. Jablonski and Held Stable. Joe DeGuara. Alanya in the gym partners. Andy McCarthy drives. 4 is Bayfield Beach. Brian Brown trains. Dexter Dunn drives for Crossover Racing. Country Club Acres. Rich Lombardo Racing and Joe Spronko. 5, Super Cum Laude. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Phil Caldora, Jerry and Teresa Silva. Pernell Libby, Weaver Bruce Shibby, Yadik Jingra. Number 6, Literal Lad Hanover. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Jerry and Teresa Silva, Pernell Libby, Weaver Bruce Shibby, and the Wingfield 5 with Matt Kikali. 7 is Perfect Sting. Joe Holloway trains for the Brittany Farms and Val d'Or Farms with Dave Miller. And rounding out the field, that is at number 8, Rifle Band. Chris Ryder trains for Robert Mondello and Craig Henderson. Joe Bongiorno is in the sulky. That is the field for the 8th race. No changes in the upcoming 8th race.
Leg number 2 of the Guaranteed Pick 4 up next, and perhaps one of our shortest price favorites of the day by the time the betting is ended, Gabe Pruitt. Perfect Sting. I think the only thing we need to find out from him is this is a little bit of a tougher field this week in the ISS as compared to the Bluegrass last week, and he's stuck with that same post 7. So far, it's been lucky for him.
Yes, well, I don't think anything, I'm not sure what's not been lucky for him at this point. He's been so sharp. Throughout his career and since arriving here in Lexington, he's got 5 consecutive stakes wins since arriving in town, of course, by a world champion from the world champion mare, She Be Stingin'. So Perfect Sting, impeccably bred here, homebred, in fact, for the Brittany Farms and Val d'Or Farms. And he really responded. That's what I'd like to see there last out, Dave, is Dave Miller really chased him, hit the wheel disc a couple of times, and he just responded so nicely to spread home here. Perfect Sting hasn't done anything wrong, but how about that? He has been odds-on 5 consecutive starts. That should tell you the depth of this field right now. That may change, of course, but he's up there 9-5 with that perfect resume.
He is. He'll drift down before the man says go, but he looks awfully nice and relaxed out on the racetrack, unlike the way sometimes his mother used to race. She'd be stinging, so that's what makes Perfect Sting maybe the perfect horse. A bunch of different ways you can go in the underneath spots in the gimmicks. If you think Perfect Sting is the best, you went for a Buck-a-Bet Hanover, and you think he's going to bounce back after a disappointing effort in the Metro.
Yeah, I do. He was 20 cents on the dollar there, going for well over $500,000 in that big stake. Trip just didn't work out, Dave. He was first up there. It just did not work out for Buck-a-Bet Hanover. Of course, talented son of Betting Line, part of that first crop. He is 4 of 7 to begin his career. He had been riding a 4-race win streak prior to that. So I do look for him to get back on track. Skipped opening week Grand Circuit action to freshen up here for week 2. 9-2. That seems awfully generous, I think, on the 3 of Buck-a-Bet Hanover. But again, it's really due to the depth of the field here. This is a very good group of freshman colts.
For the folks that may not have listened to our pregame show, we go on the air about a half an hour before first post here. You have a connection to number 4 Bayfield Beach, and that was an excellent try in the Metro.
Well, Adam Bowden and Sean Guanti there at the Diamond Creek Farm. They put together the Crossover Racing Syndicate. I'm not sure what my ownership stake is in Bayfield Beach. I'm assuming maybe 1/100% or so, but whatever it is, we've got a group of horses as part of Crossover Racing. A lot of fun and good to interact with those guys. Bayfield Beach just short there at the Metro, and that was a good effort. I mean, this is a colt that has stepped up, elevated his game. He's been consistent throughout his career, and I'm not sure he's just getting better and better with each start, Dave. He was good in the 3rd in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes final as well, so he's been consistently close here to start his career.
Well, as for your share, Gabe, I just hope it's enough to buy me a bourbon after the races today, because we have earned it. Number 5, Summa Cum Laude. He had turned in an excellent start. He even made Perfect Sting work pretty hard to hold on here. I look forward to another good try today.
Yeah, I do as well. I mean, this colt caught me a little off guard last week. I didn't know he was quite that good, but, when you were right there with Perfect Sting and making Perfect Sting work, by the way, all the way to the finish, I thought that was an excellent effort. You get a little post improvement here. I'm sure Gene Gras will be aggressive once more in the bike, so he'll be out there leaving for some position. And the fans all over him after that effort as well, Dave. 12-1 last week, back here at a much reduced 4-1 this afternoon.
Number 6 is Literal Lad Hanover, another one from the Burke Brigade here, and he's the one that kind of caught me by surprise last time. He was jammed up in a little bit of traffic, but when he shook loose, he was trying to catch his stablemate, Luz Pearlman.
He was, and the good thing, he left. He was part of that pace scenario as well, Dave. 26, 52, and 4. Yes, he got shoved there as the front sort of stopped in that event. He did have a lot of late pace. He was really routing into his stablemate there, Luz Pearlman. I like that start quite a bit. This colt, I think, has an excellent chance. He's up there as a nice long shot. I know you'd like a little bit of a price play there towards the inside as well. Dave, Billy Clyde up there at a double-digit number as well. Likely race set of always be Mickey.
Yes, I do, and I like the post, and I think we're going to get a change of tactics today for trainer Ray Schnitker and driver Mark McDonald here. This horse is coming back from a foot infection, but Ray has a lot of confidence in him, and he needed that first start over the Red Mile Strip to acclimate. Just hoping to add a price to this probable very short favorite. You can't blame me for that, right?
No, I think it's I like your style there. You got to take a shot from time to time, and who knows if we'll see it upset here in the second leg of today's Pick 4. Is Perfect Sting still sits up there, get above even money. Does that shock you, Dave?
It does, but now I know the last second bettors will start punching $500 win tickets probably because he shouldn't be that low or that high.
Yeah, I'm in agreement as well, 6-5. I thought probably 4-5 type range for Perfect Sting as he looks to keep that perfect resume intact here today. Dream Foundation started game to begin 2 position. Post time for race 8. Starter calls. Second division of the betting line. International Stallion Stake. Betting line selling his second crop this fall, or over $1.8 million. Stands at the Hanover Shoe Farms, Pennsylvania. Field of 8 lined up for the Betting Line International Stallion Stake. Purse over $99,000. They're on game. And they're off. Bayfield Beach came out swinging from the center of the track. Suba Cum Laude also on the move early for Gene Gras. They sprint towards that opening turn. Literal Lad Hanover looking for a good early position as they roll into the turn there. Suba Cum Laude up to a takeover from Bayfield Beach. Literal Lad Hanover still working up there at the outside for Kakali. Caviar Lotus out fourth. Billy Clyde on the attack early. He's rushing up from the 5th spot. Perfect Sting is watching all this early action 6th. In front of Rifleman, and at the back, it was a sluggish start for Bunkabed Hanover. The quarter 27 into, so a solid tempo as the freshman Colts straight away on the backstretch at a 29-1. Billy Clyde is up to a take over the lead from Literal Lad Hanover as the pace slows across the backstretch. Suba Cum Laude tracks in third. Now Literal Lad Hanover is back and rolling out of the pocket. So Literal Lad Hanover takes back over from Billy Clyde and his stablemate Suba Cum Laude. Also up and on the move for Gene Gras. The half 55 seconds. A busy opening half here as Suba Cum Laude is taken back over the top. He'll face immediate pressure in the form of Bayfield Beach. Literal Lad Hanover is locked in the box now from a third. Perfect Sting is set it up perfectly. Second over the outside, fourth, just 2 lengths off the top. Billy Kleinsman shuffled back to 5th. Rifleman's up 3rd over in the flow in front of a bunk a bit ahead of her. And down at the inside, Caviar Lotus. They're double-tiered at the top of the stretch. Summa Cum Laude rolls past 3/4. 122 and 4. Bayfield Beach still inching in down the sitter. Literal Dad ahead of her hangs in for Kakele. Perfect Sting begins to vault off cover, but it's still Summa Cum Laude maintaining a 3-length lead. Perfect Sting driven out here. Summa Cum Laude needs the line. Here's Perfect Sting in the late stages. Summa Cum Laude or Perfect Sting. Perfect Sting was up to win it in the final step from Summa Cum Laude. Caviar Lotus 3rd, 149 and 4. He's still perfect. Perfect Sting. Judges have posted 7. Perfect Sting up in time to take a narrow decision from Summa Cum Laude. Caviar Lotus 3rd, a buck about ahead of her 4th, 7-5-1-3 in the 8th. Perfect Sting has done it again. Somehow manages to reach up and win here in the 8th race. He returns trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm Winners presentation. Joe Holloway, the trader. Dave Miller, the bike for the winning effort once more. Perfect Sting, owned by the Brittany Farms, on for sales at the Valdior Farms of Spring Lake, New Jersey. 8 in a row to begin his career. He's a 2-year-old bay colt by the world champion, Always Be Mickey. He's from the world champion Betters the Light Mare, She Be Stingin'. Perfect Sting, 8-4-8. Bred by the Brittany Farms and the Valdior Farms, 149 and 4. Perfect Sting up to a win in the final step in race 8. Presented the trophy to the Winning Connections, Winnie Nemeth trackside. To present the trophy here, Sidney Silverson there as well. Perfect Sting, 8-4-8. Your 8th race results are official. Price is up. Perfect Sting, the favorite, 340, 210, and 210. Second to the 5, Summa Cum Laude, 360, 280. Third of the 1, Caviar Lotus, 740. Exacta was $10.40. The $1 trifecta, $81 and a dime. 20-cent superfecta, $75.48. Official rundowns for the 8th race. Caviar Lotus 3rd. Number 2, Billy Clyde 6th. 3, A Bunkabed Hanover 4th. 4, Bayfield Beach 5th. 5, Subicum Laude 2nd. 6, Literal Dad Hanover 7th. Perfect Sting the winner. 8, Rifleman was 8th. Rechecking 3-6-4, 5-2-7, 1-8 on the bottom. Perfect Sting 149-4. And we'll see what his driver thought about that stretch drive and a tight finish there. Dave Brower standing by with Dave Miller.
Gabe, thanks very much. In the Diamond Creek Farm Winner's Circle with Dave Miller. We talked to Joe last week. I figured it was your turn today. When you just got off the sulky seat, you're out of breath, aren't you? You got to work hard to earn your 5%.
Yeah, he makes me work.
Now, you told me off camera that we tried a couple of different things and you wanted to race him differently today. Tell us what those changes were and how effective you think they were.
We opened him up on his blinds and added pull-out earplugs on him. And I think the pull-out earplugs worked, but the open part to his blinds, he was kind of all over the track just a bit. So probably go back to his old bridle. And but you know what? He wanted it today. I was real proud of him. He wanted to put his head in front.
At what point did you start getting worried that maybe Yannick had a good lead there with Summa Cum Laude?
Yeah, like when I got him off Dexter's back and got him going, it looked like Yannick had about 4 on me. And I know how good that horse raced last week, and I wasn't for sure I was going to track him down.
Every time you ask this horse for a little bit more, he gives it to you. He's just that kind of a good thing.
Yeah. So far he's been racing really hard and getting the job done.
Okay, you drove his daddy, you drove his mama. Give me some comparisons to either or both.
Well, at this stage of the game, I would say he's more like his dad. He's got that laid-back attitude and doesn't seem to get tired and has that willingness to win. You know, I mean, I know the mare, she was ultra tough too, but maybe that shows up a little bit late stretch.
Whoever named this horse, did they get it right? Is he the perfect horse?
Yes, I would have to agree.
All right, Dave Miller, another super win for Perfect Sting from off the pace today, 149-4. The track's not really conducive to those kinds of times today. That's a big mile.
Yeah, you know, actually the track's not bad, but you know, it's not perfect conditions, you know, and you know what? Yeah, he amazes me a lot.
All right, so we'll see at Hoosier Park for the Breeders' Crown.
Definitely.
All right, congratulations, sir.
Thanks, Dave.
Take over the lead from Literal Lad Hanover as the pace slows across the backstretch. Subicum Laude tracks in 3rd now. Literal Lad Hanover is back and rolling out of the pocket. So Literal Lad Hanover takes back over from Billy Clyde and his stablemate Subicum Laude. Also up and on the move for Jingra, the half 55 seconds. A busy opening half here as Subicum Laude is taken back over the top. He'll face immediate pressure in the form of Bayfield Beach. Literal Lad Hanover is locked in the box now from a 3rd. Perfect Sting has set it up perfectly. 2nd over the outside 4th, just 2 lengths off the top. Billy Clyde's been shuffled back to 5th. Rifleman's up 3rd over in the flow in front of a Bunkabed Hanover. And down at the inside, Caviar Lotus. They're double-tiered at the top of the stretch. Subicum Laude rolls past 3/4. 122-4. Bayfield Beach still inching in down the sitter. Literal Lad Hanover hangs in for Kakali. Perfect Sting begins to vault off cover, but it's still Subicum Laude maintaining a 3-length lead. Perfect Sting driven out here. Subicum Laude needs the line. Here's Perfect Sting in the late stages. Subicum Laude or Perfect Sting. Perfect Sting was up to win it in the final.
My grandfather instilled in me that there's no such thing as luck. He said luck is where hard work meets opportunity.
When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1974, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at bigdweb.com. Most orders ship that day, or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
Want a fun way to spend your day? Here at the Kentucky Horse Park, you'll hop in the saddle and be on your way. Whether you are young or simply young at heart, everyone enjoys a trail ride. What will you experience at the Kentucky Horse Park? Plan your visit at kyhorsepark.com.